Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. Deputies from the Sheriff's Morongo Basin Station held a special DUI enforcement period on Friday evening, during which they were out looking for drivers suspected of driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. A representative from the Sheriff's Morongo Basin Station told Z107.7 that during the 4-hour enforcement period, deputies issued 45 traffic citations and made 1 felony arrest for a probation violation. No arrests were made for driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol. The Sheriff's Department announces special enforcement periods ahead of time to make sure drivers think twice before getting behind the wheel, and an enforcement period with no DUI arrests is considered to be successful. Drivers caught driving impaired and charged with a first-time DUI face an average of $13,500 in fines and penalties, as well as a suspended license. The 29 Palms City Council meeting last night was standing room only, with a packed agenda that featured crime-fighting technology, previews of upcoming festivals, financial reports, and a special adjournment from a departing council member. Reporter Heather Clisby was there.
Last night's 29 Palms City Council meeting lasted 3 hours, and it began with several presentations. Event organizer Terrence Latimer presented on the success of Dine in 29 and Restaurant Week. The food festival kicked off on September 22nd, and Latimer reported that an estimated 1,200 attendees enjoyed the offerings of over 20 food vendors. Representing the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, Lieutenant Al Huff presented advantages of the flock camera system. At key intersections, flock cameras take still images of rear license plates. The images are kept for 1 year and cross-referenced with other agencies to check for any crime leads. Drivers are not photographed, and the setup has no bearing on speeding or other traffic violations. Huff offered several success stories, including a swift recovery of an abducted child, apprehension of murder suspects, and the arrest of the arsonist behind the still-burning line fire. Both the council and attending residents expressed desire for the system to be installed immediately. Lakita Johnson, president of Molding Hearts, made a proposal to council for services around housing the homeless. The organization currently houses 54 people daily, and they are looking for suitable locations in 29 Palms to extend their short-term, long-term services locally. Johnson stated that the organization has government contracts and multiple streams of income, but they are asking council for $24,500 to get started in the city. Council unanimously voted to grant Molding Hearts the requested funds. In honor of council member Joel Klink's last official council meeting, all members sported Hawaiian shirts. After 20 years on the council, Klink was given the gavel for his final adjournment.
This is the last time I'll hit this gavel, and I feel very humbled for the 20 years that I have been serving on this council. The citizens of 29 Palms have been super great. I look forward to watching the council move ahead. I did, however, forget to do one thing at my comments and wish everybody a happy birthday that are celebrating in November. Nobody? Well, then, you know what? Guess what? The city has their 37th year as being a city, November 23rd. And my mother would be 94 the same day. I just want to sing happy birthday to the city and happy birthday to my mom. You guys can join in, okay? Happy birthday to my mom. Happy birthday to you.
Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
After 6 weeks of discussion, the Yucca Valley Planning Commission advanced the issue of commercial sidewalk sales to the town council. Reporter Adeline J. Wells has that and more from last night's meeting.
The Yucca Valley Planning Commission meeting began with a public hearing on commercial sidewalk displays. First discussed at their meeting on November 28, 2023, the Planning Commission has worked with town staff to craft an ordinance detailing regulation. Displays must not infringe on ADA access, they must not exceed 6 feet in height or 5 feet in width, are not to include commercial signage, and must be removed between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. More permanent items, such as propane storage, firewood displays, and vending machines are exempt from the requirements so long as they do not exceed 25% of building frontage. The Commission voted to approve the ordinance and advance it to the Town Council for review. The move of the long-discussed item was celebrated by the Commissioners, as noted by Vice Chair Vasconcelos.
I think moving forward and getting this adopted is going to help the look of our community, clean it up a little bit, and make a standard so that everyone's treated fairly and equally in regards to what they can display in front of the businesses.
Due to the absence of Commissioner Henderson, the Planning Commission moved to continue its discussion on commercial and recreational filming activities at temporary short-term vacation rental properties to its meeting on December 10th. They proceeded to consider the proposed California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, consultant list. Town staff compiled a list of 10 consultants deemed qualified to provide services without additional review, saving both time and costs with proposal processes for development projects. The list was approved as presented. The Planning Commission moved to cancel the regularly scheduled meeting on November 26th to allow for travel over the Thanksgiving holiday. Town staff will continue to review and approve native plant permit requests during the interim period. The meeting concluded with a minimal land development update. Applicants for the Walmart gas station have been moving forward with a traffic analysis, and building permits have either been issued or are ready to be issued for developments such as Starbucks West, Domino's Pizza and Jersey Mike's, and Star Cafe. Town staff anticipates the holiday season to remain slow, with developments to progress more rapidly after the new year. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Adeline J. Wells.
Last night, the Morongo Unified School District Board of Trustees held their regular meeting. Reporter Gabriel Hart was in attendance and has this recap.
The meeting began with several recognitions. First, the board presented a certificate of appreciation to MUSD Medical Assistance Instructor Kent Weiss, whose stellar teaching led to one of his students saving his father's life after a recent accident at home. Next, MUSD's robotics team 40471B for being the tournament finalists at the Centennial Robotics Spooktacular, qualifying for the Create US Open in Iowa, and for their work in Sacramento to advocate for STEM education by meeting with Senator Grove and Assemblyman Lackey. 3 students from the team got up to the mic to address the board, explaining how they spoke to state officials for further state funding for STEM education, citing $1 million extra in state funds budgeted for school programs that are overlooking vital programs like STEM that could lead to long-term job placement. Next, No Kid Hungry representative Daisy Mungia presented this year's California Hunger Hero Award for innovative and compassionate leadership to Principals James Powell and Dr. Jessica Miller. Lastly, board members Carrie Conley, Robert Hamilton, and John Cole, who are serving their last days as trustees, were given recognition for their service. Classified and certificated representatives Mary Dean and Amber Hansen thanked the board for recent positive negotiations with MTA, and after the public hearing closed without comment, the board approved a 5% one-time off-schedule bonus for MTA and MUSD management, as well as approval for the reporting for change in compensation for MTA, management, supervisory, and confidential employees for 2024-25. Superintendent Dr. Vargas spoke on behalf of the board, announcing the board has collectively chosen to forgo their 5% bonus, stating the management's pay was already equitable to other districts. Vargas said, quote, "This choice underscores our appreciation and the board's dedication to supporting fair and sustainable compensation for employees," unquote. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Gabriel Hart.
The Yucca Valley Airport District will consider new options for hangars and consider the airport's eligibility for Caltrans funding at tonight's meeting of the district's board of directors. Also on the agenda is street sweeping for the runway and taxiways, as well as new signage. Tonight's meeting of the Yucca Valley Airport District Board is open to the public and will be held at the Yucca Valley Community Center at 6:30 p.m. The Copper Mountain Community College District Board of Trustees will hold their regular meeting tomorrow afternoon at the Copper Mountain College Bell Center. Reporter Annalise Kuiper has more from their agenda.
Trustee Liz Mayer, who has served on the Board of Trustees since 2005, recently handed in her resignation in order to experience a nautical adventure with her son Jeff, which will take them a year to complete. Mayer will receive recognition of service at the meeting. During the district information items, the 2023-2024 Institutional Effectiveness Report will be presented, illustrating enrollment trends and retention success rates. Public comments related to information items are welcome. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Annalise Kuiper.
And finally, temperatures are falling and the need for warm clothing is more important than ever. The 29 Palms United Methodist Church is giving out coats to anyone in the community who can use one. They have racks of coats for men, women, and children, including large-size coats. Their supply for children's coats is short, so if you have serviceable coats you can donate, you can drop them off. The church will be open for coat giving and receiving every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to noon. The United Methodist Church is located at 6250 Mesquite Springs Road, next to the high school. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmetz.